Hello and welcome to the Daily Dose of Safety with Dr. Charlie Cartwright. So today's topic is appropriate that it's a Sunday. I'm recording this. And the message is this. We've got to make sure that as safety professionals that we're not taking the easy road and preaching to the choir. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you've been to church in your life, you know that the choir's behind the preacher, right? They sing the songs, they got the gowns on. They're invested in the church, they're invested in the message. They have to come and practice. They put in extra time to make sure that the songs sound good and they're appropriate and they support the message. But have you ever seen the preacher turn around and turn their back to the congregation and preach to the choir? No, because they're already bought in, right? Now, because the preacher is preaching the message to the church, the congregation behind him or her get the message. They receive the message, but he doesn't focus on them because they're already bought in. He's focusing on the rest of the group because they need the message the most. So when we go to our various locations out there, we got to make sure that we don't ignore the people that need the message the most and simply gravitate towards the people that are already bought in and buying in and doing all the things they need to do in order to work safely every day and keep their coworkers safe. So they're already in the boat. What we've got to do is be able to get those people that are on the fence, right? Those outlier people that are thinking about it, thinking about skipping a step, don't think this step is important. It's not going to happen to me. That group, you need to convince them and get them to be as passionate as the rest of the team. Or how do we do that? How do we overcome that? Well, we've got to invest time and energy into those folks, right? And you know who they are. They may have been there 10, 15 years or more and had no major incidents. However, you don't feel 100% certain that they're fully committed. And those are the folks we've got to go after, right? And we've got to make that extra effort. And we've got to find a way to break through that barrier to get them on the other side to understanding that, hey, this is so important. And not only am I going to do everything I need to do in order to keep myself safe, but I'm going to do the same for my teammates. And I'm going to be, an advocate for safety, right? And it's amazing that we still, in this day and age, have people that are not fully committed. And so we've got to take it as a personal challenge to get that commitment, to receive that commitment from every single person in our purview, right? We need that. And it's challenging, but that's why we have the job. That's why we have the commitment. That's why we have the compassion and the passion. And that's why it's so important that we do what we do each and every day. So I want to encourage you to make an extra effort this week to try to reach that person, right? Or those people that are just on the fringe where you're like, they could do better. And we need to help them get better. So that's my message for today. I hope this finds you well. And until next time, take care.